Kormamu presents the video documentary of the year in the history of the Tangale people of Gombe State, the true story of their origin, migration, settlement and culture that has shrouded in oral traditions and written books from generations. Their origin from the Middle East, the Arabian Peninsula to northeast Nigeria in Gombe State. Their migration from Mak in the Chad Basin to present-day settlement in 7 stages. The role of the mystical flying stone in giving directions, their colorful culture, religion and social life, and tourist attractions. The world today, its expansive landmass and technological triumph is commonly referred to as a global village. This global scenario began from little steps to great feats. It started with a handful of people to the billions of today. It grew from less than small rural settlements to the magnificent urban life of today. It inhabits diversities ranging from belief to culture, religion to social life, and of course governance. Today, from origin to small steps of migration comes the big story of the Tangale people. The Tangale-speaking people of Kaltungo Chiefdom, who inhabit the southern part of Gombe State, are believed to have originated from the east. Some oral and written sources say from Yemen, in particular in the Arabian Peninsula. And from the east, they came to the Lake Chad.
Have migrated from the east. Now, this is part of the famous theories of migration that we have in history that talk about the migration of different ethnic groups from the east. Now, it's not certain where this east will be for most of these ethnic groups, but for the Tangale, they believe that this east is perhaps Yemen on the Arabian Peninsula, and they believe that from Yemen they migrated to the northeastern part of Nigeria, particularly to the Lake Chad region of Nigeria, where they settled together with several other tribes.
The Tangale settled in 7 major stages, led by a mystical flying stone before reaching their present settlements. The mystical flying stone to date is located on the Ture Hills. The custodian of the mystical flying stone at Ture revealed that the people in the course of their movement crossed a large expanse of water or pali, which could have been the Lake Chad.
Okay.
Il tupali belu tede sunuto kumbi
ile tikumbi watanon tunga
illa kumbi kada kumna dabe ara wadito tunga.
The journey from the Lake Chad area, which began at Mak, was due to various factors.
In the Machiavellian wet phase, all of this area historically were lush areas that human beings inhabited until the drying up of the area which created the present Sahara desert. Now, we are not sure whether they moved in a straight direction, but they moved in this direction and reached this area of southern Chad. Now here, there's a place known as Mak. Now in the Tangale account, the first place where they settled up from where they began their migration is known as Mak. Now this Mak in the southern part of Chad here and on the eastern part of the Lake Chad is most probably the first major settlement of the Tangale from where they moved across the sea. As I said a while ago, was reputed to have crossed a body of water. Now this is the Lake Chad. It is very probable that they crossed this Lake Chad to the western side from where they continued their movement.
They were perhaps driven by famine, plague, or insects, betembini, or there was fear of being attacked, or perhaps in search for fertile land and water points. Another possible reason might have been the role of the famous mystical flying stone in giving direction. In the course of their migration and settlement, they met other groups such as the Bolewa, Tera, Dera, Kanakuru, etc., together with whom they journeyed southward. Thus, the Tangale have very close linguistic, cultural, and historical relations with them. Their movement southward, which began at Mak, might have coincided with the 10th century political crisis in Kanem Borno Empire by Safawa dynasty. From Mak, they settled at Kubi, which could have been the same as Kubo in Dera or Kanakuru land in present Borno state. From Kubo, they migrated further south to Poduka and then Kina or Hinna in Tera land in the present Gombe state. After Hinna, they settled at Kalshingi and Kombe in present Gombe area.
Kombe, dangi chop sabi. Ka kombe taije, dangi nere ka mo dangi asama Gombe. Ya doto. Ka pijo ka ina. Waton kambantu.
Kita min foto wanda shi tuleju na tuma ana kita wanda jam. Batang je min ponanda il teram minute doka anabena.
Their first settlement at Kubi, which was most probably in present Borno State. Now from Kubi, they moved to Podoka, and the word Podoka could have derived from the Tangale word Doka, which means ashes, which is to say the Tangale must have been advanced in the domestication of both plants and animals and the exercise of advanced life. And from Podoka, they moved down to Pokoka. Well, there is, it could be possible, but we don't know for certain. We don't know whether there could be a connection between that Doka and perhaps potassium that exists in Borno. But, there could be a likelihood. We are not sure about that. Then from Podoka, they moved down to Pokoka. And Pokoka could have also derived from the Tangale word Kwaka, which means boabab tree. And the boabab tree and the tamarind tree are two very ubiquitous trees that are found in almost all Tangale settlements. And this would certainly have been in the vicinity of present Bolewa land. Now from Pokwaka, they moved down to Tera country, where they established a settlement known as Kina, which could have been the present Kina in Tera land, around that Inkoa area. And it is believed that around that area, they established a strong and powerful capital known as Kumbe, and it's suspected that that Kumbe may have been the original word for Gombe that is used today as the name of the capital of Gombe state. Now from Kina, they moved further south to a new settlement known as Kalshingi, and it could be the present Kalshingi in Ako local government. Now, but that Kalshingi could also, from oral tradition, be a reference to a Tangale word that means Kal Shing Shing, meaning very important meeting place. Now, which meant that some crucial decisions may have been taken by the Tangale at this point before they moved further south to their sixth settlement at Tumo Hills.
According to Oliver Howard and T.F. Khalil, the British officers who conquered and pacified Tangale and Waja at the turn of the 1900s.
By 1904-1905, Colonel Howard carried out a major expeditionary campaign in what later came to be known as Tangale Waja, Southern District. Now that was the first time that the colonialists entered Tangale land.
The Tangale were the first known indigenous occupants of Gombe area. From Gombe area, the Tangale moved further south to their sixth settlement at Tungo Hill. It was at Tungo that the clans separated into two, that is, the East and West Tangale.
There were six settlements at Tumo Hills. Now, Tumo Hills is part of the Tumo-Kolwa range of hills. Now, that was the sixth and very important settlement of the Tangale, in the sense that it was a place where the tribe split into two, into what we call West Tangale and East Tangale, because of perhaps quarrel over a woman, as oral tradition has documented, or perhaps over land pressure, as other scholars have speculated. Because of that, the tribe split into West and East Tangale, with the West moving to the vicinity of Dicky Hills, where they settled in the several settlements of the Tangale chiefdom today, while the East Tangale moved to present Kaltungo, Shongom and Ture settlement, which became their seventh and last settlement.
Tradition also has it that the two Tangale immigrated as a group from the Lake Chad region and have common ancestors who migrated together but separated at either Kumbe or Tungo, as different versions reveal. The East Tangale moved to their present areas of Shongom, Kaltungo and Ture. Meanwhile, the West Tangale moved westward and settled around Dicky Hills in present-day Beleri. In every society, there exists a system of governance. This could, however, based on the peculiarities of that society, differ from others, but which ultimate objective is to provide an efficient, effective, and enduring leadership. The Tangale of Kaltungo had their own system of self-governance and social organization. Politically, the people were divided into three administrative units, namely Ture, Kaltungo and Shongom. Each administrative unit has towns and villages consisting of elders. In Kaltungo, it was called Kalpotor, and in Shongom, it was called Kalkikash, and Tadukin in Ture. Political authority within the Tangales was vested on three people: the civil leader or Maimana, who settled civil cases or communal disputes between clans.
Maimana angawam moyaji tutun tuljabe kiwatun kutupili ban ka Maimana.
Uji Maimana to wamsabgo bisa gatari wamsabgo Kaltungo win Shongom win Ture bisa gatari him ushi. Samu isama welkwen to she ma Maimana banu ama Shongom ne kama ka mim moshan kulitiki ane bisa tarihi Ture ma anga mau.
2. May Eku, who is in charge of religious affairs, and May Kambugut or May Yele, who was the army commander in charge of war, e.g. May Indigri.
Diri mai amai mamum pig ngala kol chuabe kana pedwa kana nang watun dom diri.
Following the British conquest of Kaltungo at the turn of the 20th century, a new central administration was created with May Umaru Lamai as the new district head of Kaltungo in 1908. The new Kaltungo district included non-Tangale speaking areas.
Akwai mun yi sa'a tura sun yi mana aiki. Mun yi sa'a wani bature ya rubuta report nashi a lokacin rangadinsa a Numan ran 22 watan Disamba na 1934. Ana ce da shi Mr. A.B. Matthews. So, ya bayyana komai na kabilun aka kirkiro gundumomi guda district guda biyu a kasar nan. to tafiya ta yi tafiya, ana nan suna cikin mulkin su nasara din. To sai tunani ya zo ga cewa a lokacin sun samu sakula ne cewa a grouping tsirarrun kabilu wuri guda, to shine sai suka yanko wada dama tana Gombe Emirate, tana wannan wurin. To sai suka kirkiro, sai aka ɗauko wada aka haɗu a nan. To a nan ne a 1915 to a nan ne sai aka canja suna ya koma Tangalewaza, sai aka rika kira Tangalewaza saboda kabilun mu biyu din nan duka Tangale ne, sannan ga Waza, to sai aka tsara mata suna da sunan Tangalewaza a lokaci.
The creation of Kaltungo district has to be understood against the background of the coming of the British. Now, when the British began their conquest of northern Nigeria, particularly with the attack on Sokoto in 1903, that set the pace for a series of conquests of a lot of emirates that were later on constituted into provinces and divisions, including Gombe and Bauchi. These pacification campaigns brought about the subjugation of the over 13 ethnic groups that make up what used to be called Tangalewaja Native Authority, which later became Tangalewaja local government. Now, it was the pacification of these different groups that brought about the need for the British to create an administrative system. Since these different ethnic groups live independent of each other, they did not have a centralized structure like that obtained in the Caliphate system or in Hausala or even in Borno. In 1915, they created 3 independent districts, and these were East Tangale, also known as Kaltungo, West Tangale, also known as Iliri, and Waja independent districts in 1915. Now, the creation of these 3 independent districts laid the foundation for their recognition as 3 independent native authority systems. They were gazetted later. East Tangale and Wada were gazetted in 1922, while West Tangale was gazetted in 1927. Now, it was only later that the 2 other independent districts were created, together with which they later came to form Tangale Wada.
Thus, from 1908, the new Lamai dynasty ruled over the new district. Mai Lamai was succeeded by Mai Muhammad Umar in 1948, a strong and shrewd ruler who consolidated the district and the dynasty. He was also succeeded after his demise in 1972 by Mai Alhaji Ibrahim Omar, a wise and popular leader who carried all segments of the district with him and enjoyed the people's confidence. His death in 2000 brought Engineer Saleh Mamadou in as the new modern Mai Kaltungo.
Muka sani yadda tarihi suka nuna don da dai mutanen mu suna zube ne kawai, ba mu da waje guda ko yana tare clan nashi, sai da zuwan tura suka zo suka kawo tsarin mulki kamar da suka taras a nan arewa. Lokacin da suka zo nan wajen mu, tsarin mulki na farko da suka yi sun sa Umaru Mai Lamai shine sarki abin na farko, wanda suka kawo kabilu da yawa yawanci na nan wanda suka fomin Kaltungo Chiefdom aka saka a karkashin da masarauta ake kiran wajen Kaltungo Chiefdom. To sarki na farko shine Umaru Lamai. To bayan ya gama zamanin shi sai ɗansa Malam Muhammad Umar ya gaje shi. A lokacin Mai Lamai ya tsufa sosai, da ya gaba zai gudanar da al'amura da mulki ba, sai transfer din power nashi zuwa wajen ɗansa Malam Muhammadu da Umaru Lamai. To shi ba da son Muhammadu an nada ɗan Lamai shi Ibrahim Umar shi ya zama sarki na 3. To bayan mu son babban namu shi Ibrahim Umar ne na zo nan a March 1999 a kan sarki na 4 a nan masarautar Kaltungo. sannan kuma na ɗauki wannan sarauta akan sarki mai daraja ta biyu a ya 2001 September muka samu gwamnati ta upgrade wannan masarauta zuwa masarauta mai daraja ta ɗaya a nan Gombe State. Ni da nake rike da wannan ragamar jagorancin al'ummar na Kaltungo don har zuwa yanzu shi ne takaitaccen tarihi na sarakuna da suka rike wannan matsayi a wannan cikin namu.
The Tangale of Kaltungo, Shongom and Ture today occupy the present Kaltungo and Shongom local government areas of Gombe State. According to the National Population Census 1991, Kaltungo and Shongom LGAs has a total of 175,122 people, while in 2006 census has it that they possess 311,912 people, of which the Tangale constitute about 80% of this population. They are loving, humble, and peacekeeping people. On arriving the Tangale area, one of the notable features is the outstanding landmark, which is the Kilan Peak, about 1,500 meters above sea level. An unfortunate incident happened in April 1907 as Lieutenant Phillips of blessed memory, one of the British force who took over from Honorable Oliver Howard, after only 37 days in the area, fell from the peak and died.
And then they went after, he went with the rolling roll. One roll with the throw and hold the stone and then they climb on it. The lieutenant gave us a tip where he could around the area. The ship said it's very because immediately if we go to the site where there's a deep site, we blow us. Therefore, let us be careful. Then Lieutenant said, let him then my one see down. And he went down. And he was looking down, and then the wind fell. They could not come down right there because it's deep. And they came down to the bottom here, and then some people come, and they came and went round. They collected his body on that day.
Kodimo na mungo lakilang ngwe wakede na mwenyimgo nam ane lakilangum bi piro nam ne titilim nam go lakilang ngwen sidem piteje kede tiptaki lola korogne kan wiidi kan nam molara kiyom rabum sere motele ane ki takilang tom dom wa munwe lakilang nam undungo way ik pandi muyim go nam ga mo dangi ndam mudum ya joro da pandin kon am go lakilang ngum seb nam wargo ka ngoro ngwenu pilim po ya joro ane lakilang takim sikdegum kilang basam oknam a wajen sere bad iki sere moy am nam mandobi ambun marabi kon moy wen pilim po ya nuro ka sikli ki pan kilang pis modum ya nuro nem anki kala one rapitejem wam rapitejem ngumpandi na melem pon kandalem termen mudu pudungon ka siblegem apiri mudum ya nuro anki kodimon amungon min webur ko sumie mi pokunna kil dodok mi pokunna borno mi pokunna ti kil bauchi mi pokunna ti kil plateau mi pokunna kil kaduna sumone balolji sumie pokunna ti sepan kilang tuzgo tip kodim kilang tuzungon ngwargo nyang merge mi bomo min wase bunda simu kilang tuzgo kanungati rab kan kunung sabi futon tomno ga kilang na tuzna kilang tunya sorya wam sor pom salifa ndi teme mona nensaba sorum kilang tuz tungon amgo wam an tuz kilang anki piteje bodoko ane titumpandi dam kangi yat ko tada am kwadu po yeng pandi tuleju dam yat ko buk dam pon tadwaim panje kilang yam tustuto wargo pilo da ko ketele kurum kilang tus tungon ya wai o ker am pire ya nyat o kulo ki tojim tu sangon tiwam kod ko lapan popandi posereng puton ka berkal tungo mikumu dil tojim tu tungon
taware mana na ne dum borona wana ga oya berim bala burgo taware mana na ne dum borona wana ga oya berim bala baba.
In every society, knowledge is often bequeathed to the younger people through oral instructions, advice and formal education. Thus, the Tangale still maintain their oral tradition through the passage from the elders to the children through folk tales under the moonshine. This, they believe, will help the children to grow up with a sense of folk tradition of their people.
Good evening. King. Alano. King. Alano. King. Chukla. King. Alano. Ang pangmajok, kawita pugay. Mumpukunga amo mo torgay. Ngajok pala tete pugay kau kadum mo ta jaman utanang. Mumahuro. Ami po kawita bay. Kendo man tukum chop. Hey. Ano ba ni marta pugay? Yan walay. Walgo, kabem kayo, timo wa oropemo ya gundi. Ya tunado.
The grown-up children also indulge in different forms of play, while the elders also have their own form of relaxation after their numerous farm work.
Kas kangare karengi punjo kangawe gawe gawe akang ngasaran dul akan gawiyo akan ngapang pamela pia ulang ngaro ya tupar kakangare kareng kunyo akan gawe akan ngasan akan gawiyo akan ngapang pamela pia ulang ngaro ya tupar kakangare kareng kunyo akan gawe akan ngasan akan gawiyo akan ngapang pamela pia ulang ngaro ya tupar kakangare kareng kunyo akan gawe akan ngasan akan gawiyo akan ngapang pamela pia ulang ngaro ya tupar awak dede nyalak nggak kalah kapan cina tay kapan cina tay nyalak nyalak kapan cina tay nyalak we kula we
Bari singano ya manam warga wajib punya mangayale macanang kojar kaya awanang jole lamu ye tinang bebo jarab lagi awanang jole tinang bebo jarab lagi ayo nani mame ko bagi baraglo kuwang genya mando bagi ogu nega bo kuwang ayo nani mame ko bagi baraglo kuwang genya mando bagi ogu nega bo kuwang amambo lamude tilambo lagi tamam dandane mame wambo baraglo kuwang genya mando bagi ogu
Taware mana na ne dum porona wana ga oya berim pala burgo. Taware mana na ne dum porona wana ga oya berim pala baba. Mane tore mane dum baba na wana ga oya berim pala burgo. Taware mana na ne dum porona wana ga oya berim pala pitelo ay ga oya berim pala baba. Kau ya berim pala baba, berim pala pitele, ay kau ya berim pala kobe, ya berim pala baba, kau ya berim pala pitele, ay kau ya, baba mina wam kau ya, baba na wana kau ya, pitele, ay kau ya berim pala kobe, mana tore mana.
In present-day society, civilization has ensured a freedom and right of an individual to numerous issues that were hitherto, especially in the pre-colonial and colonial era, held as sacred and sacrosanct, irrespective of one's rights and views. One of such was the issue of worship or religion. Among the Tangale of Kaltungo, Yamba was the object of worship, but other spirit beings called Shuro or Bura were recognized as intermediaries. The spirit of dead ancestors was also recognized as intermediaries between Yamba and the people. But most religious activities involved offering food and drink sacrifices and dance to the Supreme Being. Prayers were offered always for rain, good harvest, hunting, and good health. Christianity was introduced in Kaltungo in 1917 with the establishment of the Sudan Interior Mission SMI station in Kaltungo. It was the colonial administrators that invited missionaries to come and evangelize in Tangale. The first missionaries that attempted to reach Kaltungo were Walter Gowans, Thomas Kent, and Roland V. Bingham in 1915. The failure of this mission brought in the second, consisting of Dr. Andrew P. Styrett, also called Bature Meimagani, Reverend Norman Davis, and Roland V. Bingham, who later became the SMI director. Their visits paved the way for the coming of Reverend John S. Hall and Gordon Beecham, who established the SMI mission station in 1917. The missionaries introduced literacy in Kaltungo by reducing the Tangale language to writing. The first converts who later spread the gospel to other areas were Pastor Karga Borio, Maila Kunjo, Kwanjum, Yelma, and the first female convert, Lakoli.
Samayamba mingilgo lakio, mingilgo na kwanda usamayamba. Wamu karga, mayada sum kan kalmu, mingan po dilo, kan matam samayamba. Patimun ilumon lakio, babno, mindam nego, kodim la sarsu gutungon, weg mimo mamu, tiao kamora pide woro, miweg la sara pe yan keba ukau, babno karga yan sereni. To da minam gala karga la pispir pemo pem sereni bomiyam kumigum kongrong de dam pemo chimbe to medam ga pimo midam man kiyaji iko meme to medam yan sereni to fudu midam yan sabganum po bemban donum pobi mitawol kamita bisim kamuntok na anem bina to midam man nangen da sorom du godo ka gondam da ka pomseli felo Sesoru midam fotungan ki ilmu de. To midam wana sokam num bab no soktambu. Ta midam wana midam ko bautula. To yago titula ko ga yam doigon ti sumutan kineng il Tangale. To fudun la sari alon shira o firai. To mai war do pipi anam dina. To dam ga fidi midam din. To da midam gum kato kayan sen kai midam ya. Awo bandun film ganeru di numra. Kapim dal ma pim da pitay to kapim diun to tikmlies ka be mindam ganda to mindam wargo don pitay day mindam diun to sorum mi sawole ago tinangese mi sawol mil got tamatama anki mindam digo to mi sawol ko tun upomamu kutun so upomamu menang konon pomamu kutun tagon sabata pomamu ni ko pi samayamba titom mi sawole tago day to bulun mi le rigo to mi sawol na mbi kanya go sor ki kunun kan purgo yani mi tawol wan garko to mi sa kropot wato yani piri mendam mi ta kropot simum aku go makaranta ke de tikil mule anki mami tawol serigon tiki samayam ga kapi musu be ngum samayamba bali masamayamba madi masamayamba ubeti mi masamayamba mendam aku makaranta.
Apart from introducing literacy, the coming of Christianity brought in new Christian values that ended practices like killing of twins and reduced inter-ethnic conflicts among the Tangale. It also brought in the gospel of salvation and Christian values of love, peace, and development.
The hole you are seeing over there is where they throw in their twin children. Whomever gives birth to twin children, they will take them and throw them into this very hole.
Baba babno malam kida. So malam kida. Hendang alun kasirap to kenan ta buga sera amini kamini ko dem lain woni babni to antarim ka ana larim anan balam ko teje antarim ta balam ka sera mi anogu ko dem ni ngon ne go ni ka ko dem lain woni ni babu way ko korog bune yawa penan tawune mamu wargo laylin rap laylin rap to ta ko dim da mo pongo mo laylin rap wargo ka lalu ni wargo chode ka chuo to sabe wargo putum anan babni mako atawuni ka Europe mo laylin rap amma linteze wayette to pendang wargo watun mana wan mana wargo ka bunni wargo serani apa mana kato bari kai we me mo akella mana ka to la ni ka cholo ninju ko mu wata ila lini ila kom amonde num churai ya wa num churai wat nyaji kai we wa churai wa yaji to mi wargo ya sera tabe mana ka tamchile mata ya tente ngaka yana yangi pe nani apa mana ka te mai sai do ko yin kwali bi mo kwali pon pin ka lalu ini to aka de haka wargo sai wargo mun lalu ini to pindang ne ukmo teru kun tekuru aja wargo mamansu ko pandang kana yangi murundum to me ba sere ga monom num churom an pendang ga mon churo monom balgo manum babno
So the fact that the fathers too strongly that anybody who tampers with them, anybody who intends to remove them to the bush to kill them, is going to fight.
Yes.
Is going to resist whatever. So luckily, with the intervention of the missionaries or the white men who came, of course those who came to our area are missionaries.
Okay.
So with the intervention of the missionaries, they became an additional
protection, yes.
Because they intervened. They told them that if they dare do anything like that, then they will deal with the community.
Yes.
So that saved their life.
Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar.
Islam grew with Hausa traders and Islamic scholars during the reign of Mai Umar Lamai. Notable among the first traders were Sarkin Hausawa Bagoberi from Gobir, Malang Isubu from Kano, Akama Aiki from Hadeja, and Garba from Katsina. The two prominent Islamic persons were Malam Nadadiya and Malam Babale. Their activities and arrival of more traders and teachers later caused growth in Kaltungo.
Ga addinin Islam an tafi lasara kenan to addinin Islam kenan kake.
To shigo addinin musulunci nan lalle abun fa ya jima. Domin zuwan malam Babale nan ma shekarun fa da dama. Wani tsoho na zuwan sa nan 1927 ya so na. To ya zo ya tadda kuma musulmai a Hausa ma ana. Ya tadda su anan. Lokacin da musulunci ya kafu. Yawwa. To lokacin nan wanda ya fara dai akwai nan ana cewa sa malam na dakiya. To ya zauna ya yada musulunci ana. Ya dan taba zama nan kadan ya zauna. Ya sake ya komo nan. Ya ku sake ya komo nan. Domin a kalarin dina kwanda yara da dama suna nan kuma sauran ma sun tafi yanzu sai jikokin suna nan ana a kalarin.
Kawo ba shi ma za samu addinin musulunci. Shi ma ya zuwa kana da mu a takaice ba ta kusa da shekara 100. A takaice ne ba. Amma ba shekara 100 ba ya wuce ta amma dai a takaice.
Among the Tangale of Kaltungo, marriage was and still is an important social practice. Practice institutionalized over the centuries for procreation and socialization of individuals towards proper functioning in society. For these reasons, the marriage institution is held in high esteem by the Tangale. Marriage strengthens social relationships between families and lineage because for the Tangale, the importance of marriage transcends the two individuals entering into it. It is a social union that brings families together. At the courtship stage, the young suitor worked to win the love and respect of the young lady and her family. He would hunt games and bring it to his father's-in-law, who shared it with the family. He would also present different gifts such as cow leg, chicken, local bread, which were collectively called wamunjukwula, or items for encouraging marriage. The young suitor also provided labor with his friends on his father's-in-law's farm. This was called wutangwula. As courtship proceeded, the young lady indicated her acceptance of her suitor by separating herself from her friends during titkavi. This practice, called separation of bed or tikut inji, led to meeting of the bride and groom to be in a separate room provided by the father-in-law. The practice of titwula, as it was called, offered the father the opportunity to study his prospective son-in-law at close range. It also ensured the girl did not go to the groom's house until marriage was contracted. These measures enhanced checks and balances and regulated the social behavior of youths during courtship.
Ula foto. Warga an mara kan kumime. Kame kaya vip ne wajen pelo. Wa wulto no rafi. Tagur mango jona. Tagur mango jona. Wa wulto kan kojim tim puat.
When the girl's hand had been formally sought in marriage, Brightweld was given to the family. The items included castrated he-goat or marwula, other goats or mewula, benisit and adau, chickens or yabula. A number of hoe-like iron implements called munta, used as local currency, were also presented to the bride's family. Meanwhile, the groom built his house either within his father's compound or separate from it. A day was fixed for the wedding. The bride came in company of her friends, including her closest friend called Lawulkumbo. The bride brought only firewood and new kitchen utensils to her new home. A joyous celebration followed amidst eating and drinking. The transience of life, most especially human life, has made it necessary for people and society to mourn, celebrate, and bury their dead ones. This rite, however, differ from one culture to the other. In Africa, the death of an elderly person can be likened to setting a library ablaze. Like most other societies in history, the Tangale demonstrated the value attached to human life in the respect paid to the death. For the Tangale, death was a bitter experience which caused painful physical separation. Consequently, when death occurred, the whole land became quiet and no work was done. Children and youths were also buried quickly to minimize pain. They were buried without ceremony, but a mourning period of 7 days was observed. When the man dies, his son-in-law brought goat for the burial called Meshupio. However, when older men and women died, their lives were celebrated with dances or palam. Food and drinks were consumed. The death of very old men and heroes were celebrated with even more fanfare. More elaborate burials were arranged for them. Special graves made up of 2 chambers called Purem Rap, or 2 graves, were dug for them. They were buried in the lower chamber, which was then scaled.
Amana muteye mumude ko ya gon shor mau pidwai kon waira kaya da kumpanmo kamu mi ponyin yam moya yam kolo kun pidwai palam dandang lira PTT nje pip sobut wai de pip har kwal bidi makaya ki kollo bidaro
kani kumnai kule manna de tobo mana wargo kukna de wagi kun upun mambabno wargo na de chapla ka do na pagabe kon mo pon walbabno mo pon iba ar kuk mambabno yano pon armana de le ni jale na se le oxygen
Culture is the totality of the people. It is also diverse, unique, and portrays the innate character of the people. It enhances unity and a sense of camaraderie among folks. The Tangale have various and colorful cultures they can be proud of as a people, as well as different festivals. But the most prominent are Eku and Tangra. Eku is the first major festival observed annually. The Tangale refer to Eku as female worship because of its feminine function, that is, fertility. Eku is concerned with fertility and productivity of human beings, especially in women, animals, and land. While reproduction of women is important for immortality, that of animals and land are necessary for sustenance and survival. The festival is held between August and September to pray for good harvest. Children are also taken to the Laine Shrine or Kamaeku for dedication and prayers. Tangra, on the other hand, is the male festival which centers around sanctification of the Tangale community. The festival, held between January and February each year, is a quest for good physical health in the dry season when the Hamatan bring kata. Tangra is also an occasion for thanksgiving to God, Yamba, for bountiful harvest. It is a moment of joyous celebration accompanied by dancing, eating and drinking. During Tangra, divorce was prohibited. So also was frying of sweet things and shouting. Every society or people have their dance, and so does the Tangali. The Tangali of Kaltungo have different types of dances they engaged in and still engage in during festival occasions. Tenam or Shagai is a form of mock war dance exhibited during war, but the main dance performed during festival is Kolki or warriors dance. In time past, Kolki celebrated victories in war or valor, demonstrated in killing tough wild animals such as lion, hyena, leopard, or cheetah. Other dances observed on social occasions are called poprum or knee dance. Called kuluk or local violin dance. Called garaya or local guitar dance. And called shasha or traditional drum dance performed specially by Ture people. Special dance performed by women was called Romo or Hakumbo. It was performed during the death of a ruler, a hero, or special festivals. The songs sung during this dance were of special significance because they were satirical and served as a means of social control. Those who engaged in negative antisocial behavior were ridiculed in such songs. Agriculture from time past has remained the mainstay of many communities and even nations. Even to date, it plays a very significant role not only in life sustenance but also as a means of local and international trade. The Tangale of Kaltungo are from time immemorial predominantly farmers. Land was communally owned, but it was lineages and individual households that had immediate control over farmlands. The hoe or quash was the main implement used. Other items used for agricultural purposes include knives, dia, cutlasses, water jugs or bat, basket, kodo for carrying sheaves of grain, etc. The main food crops cultivated included guinea corn, millet, maize, etc. Cash crops like groundnut, beans and cotton were also grown. These were sold locally and also traded with neighboring areas. The Tangale had different cuisines and soups such as kwaksha, chinga, edo, po, aronjo, tingole, bayo, duang, nabandang, etc. Modern agricultural techniques have been introduced into the farming system. The economy itself has been diversified, growing commercial activities. Kaltungo is a land of historic beauty. Its valley-like location within beautifully formed hills and mountains ranges in a sight to behold. The range of hills and mountains includes Panmana, Lakwanjang, Ture Hills, Lapandingtai. Sunrise and sunset above the hills throw beautiful orange rays amidst disappearing clouds. Beyond this, interesting tourist sites abound, attracting visitors, such as the old Maize Palace in Kalorgu, Kaltungo, now Kaltungo Museum. The gravesite of the popular Lieutenant Phillips of blessed memory, a brave white man who fell while climbing the Kilang Peak and was buried at Ture. There is Ambuluk, the warm spring oozing out of the bowels of the earth, purified by nature and sparkling clean and transparently fitting for a bottling water project. The Twins' Grave, the famous flying stone site at Ture. There is also the popular waterfall at Lapanturum. Another natural mineral resource is the Iduka. If these tourist potentials are properly harnessed, it could serve as a great income earner as well as providing jobs for the teeming youths in the land. With this and more, it is revealing that the Tangale people of Kaltungo is possessing of a long, rich history and has come a long way in the cultural, social and political history of Gombe State and Nigeria at large. Upon this, they have caused great developmental leaps in all spheres of human endeavor. Today, their imposing posture is resident in their collective unity, political cohesiveness, leadership stability, and a staunch resilience in the face of difficulty. They have come, they have seen, and have conquered. Their history and achievement is undoubtedly a lesson worthy of emulation.